Hello friend, welcome to Access Zombie Code. Today we are going to create a new project by using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is the first video of HTML, CSS, JavaScript series. Let me show you what we are going to do. Here I create a password generator program. You can see there is a one input field and 3 button is available for this project. Once a user click this generate password, it will be create a password for that user. If you click this reset button, it will discard that password. Or else if you want to copy this, then just click this copy. It will copy that and you can put anywhere as per your requirement. So let's do that. Inside this HTML, CSS, JavaScript folder, I am going to create a new folder and that folder name will be random password generator. And inside this folder, I am going to open my IDE and here I am going to create new 3 file, one for the HTML, another one is for JavaScript and last one for the CSS. So first one will be my HTML file. So index.html. Next index.js and index.css. Inside this HTML file, I am going to type HTML5. It will automatically create boilerplate HTML template. Now, first I am going to change the title of this page. The page title will be password generator. Next, I have to import the JavaScript and CSS file inside this HTML file. So for that the command will be link and here I am going to give the file name and the JavaScript file will be. Now both JavaScript and CSS file was import in this HTML file. Next I have to create the input field and the button. So first I am going to create a div and it will contain a class called cardbox. Then inside this div I will create another div. So inside the second div I am going to put my header2 command and header2 will be contain random password generator and it will also contain the input tag. The input tag will be input, the type will be tag and placeholder will be generate password and it also take a ID. By using this ID we will be do our JavaScript work. So ID name will be create password and this input field will be read only mode. So I declare the read only attribute. Next I am going to create another div inside this card box div and this div contain our two button. So button and the button name will be generator and that second button name will be copy and this button also takes some event action. So once this button will be clicked by any user, then it will call a JavaScript method and that method name will be generate password. And similarly copy button also called another method, so that method name will be copy password. Next I'm going to create another div and that div contain a button and this button will be our reset. Anyone click this button, it will call a reset password method. So on click reset password, our basic HTML template is ready. Let me format this and I will show you by the previewing this screen. So here you can see one input field, one generate button, next a copy button, and the last one is reset button. So the HTML is ready. Now we have to work on the JavaScript and the CSS file. First I am going to work on the JavaScript file. So here my first method name will be generate password. Once a user click this generate button, then it will call this function. So inside this method I am going to declare a variable car. So this cars contain the string. The string will be 0 to 9 and A to Z. So here I am going to declare a password length variable. The length of the password will be 4. I will show you this first. Later we can change as per our requirement, 8 character or 12 character, any number of length of the password we can create. Initially the password will be null or empty. So here I create a variable for that password and it is empty. Next I am going to use the for loop, and inside this for loop I am going to iterate that character variable. So first here I am declare that var I equal to 0. Next I is less than that password length. Next I plus plus. Inside this for loop I am going to create a random number. So var random number equal to math dot floor. Inside this floor, math dot random into the character length. Next, I'm going to use this random number. So my password will be password equal to cars dot substring, and here the random number, then the random number plus 1. And next I'm going to set that password in the input field. So for that the command will be document dot get element, and the ID will be what I declare initially, dot value equal to password. Let's check first that, later we'll set the CSS and other details. So here once a user click this generate button, it will create a random 4 character password. So you can see which value are randomly coming in the input field. So let me tell you again what I did inside this generate password button. First I take a variable of character and I initialize the length of the password, which is 4, and I declare a variable for password. Next I declare a for loop where the for loop will be iterate the number of time of the password, which means currently it start from 0 to number 4. So next here I declare a random variable, and the random variable will come from the method random into that character length. It will substring from the cars. It set in the input field. So let me first complete this project and I will show using the debug mode. So next I have to declare the next function copy. So copy password function will be function copy password, and here I am going to take a reference of this password field, which means once the password will be generated we can copy that value. So here I take a reference variable for that, and the variable will be copy password. Next I am going to use the select function. So copy password dot select. Once it will copy, it will select this input field. Next I am going to use the selection range for this copy. So copy password dot set selection range, and the range will be 0 to 999. At the last I am going to execute the copy command. The command will be document dot execute command. Let's check is it working or not. I click, my password is generated. Next, I have to copy. So here the password is copied. You can check. I paste that password here. The copy function is work properly. Next, I have to declare reset password. For that, the function will be called reset password. So I have to declare the reset password function here. So function reset password. I have to set that input field as empty. Value equal to null. Let's check this also. So here my password is generated. Next, if I reset, it will be empty. Next, if I click the generate button, it will generate a new password. Also, I can copy this password by using this password button. My JavaScript work is completed. Now I have to do the CSS work. So inside this style sheet, first I am going to declare star, and star will be content margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing will be border box. Next, my body will be content background color. This will be 0581 CA. Next, it will place in the center. So justify content center, align item center. Next, display flex. Minimum height will be 100 bh. Now this text in the center of this HTML file. Next, I declare a cardbox class, so I have to define it. So cardbox class will be background color, it is white, and padding will be 30%. So 30 px. Next, I have to set the header tag. For that, my command will be card css.s2, and s2 will be margin bottom equal to 20 px. The text element will be center. Next, the font size will be 25 px. Next, the color of the text will be next. The font family of the header tag will be sans serif. So my CSS for h2 tag is ready. Next, the input field. Input will be contain the padding first. Padding will be 20 px. Next, the height will be 50 px. The width will be 400 px. Next, I'm going to use the border radius command. So border radius will be 10 px. Next, so I have to change the border. So first I will set it 0. Then I will define the details. So first I send it 0. Next, I will declare that border 2px, and it will be a solid. Next, the color. So color will be then the outline of the border will be none, and the font size will be 20 px. Next, I have to declare for the bottom. So for the button, the font family will be next. I have to put the margin from the top. So margin top will be 20 px. Next, I have to set the font size. So font size will be 15 px, and I have to set the bottom size and height. So the width of the bottom will be 80 px, and the height of the bottom will be 50 px. Next, I gave border radius. Border radius will be 10 px. Next, I have to set the border also. Border will be 0, then border 2 px, then solid, then the color of the border will be Then the text element. For good practice, I have to define that also. So the text element will be center. Next, the background color and the display. Display will be inline block. The color of the text will be these are all 255. Next, place on the center. So justify content center and align item is center. I have to declare some ID for the reset button. Before that, I have to do the hover effect for the button. So button hover color will be changed and the background color will be blue. Next, I have to define the ID for the reset button. So ID will be reset password. So here I'm going to declare weight of this button will be 340 px and the background color will be next that hover effect for this reset password. The text color will be white and the font size will be 16 px. The background color I'll put yellow or else I can change to any color as per your requirement. The CSS is ready. Let me show you. For that, I'm going to start my live server. So here you can see this generate password is working properly. This copy also working properly and reset button also work. So let me show you how this password generation is happened. So for that, I have to go there to inspect and here inside my file, inside this JavaScript file, this button will be called. Then this function generate password will be called. I put my debug point and also I'm putting the debug point for the copy and reset password. So first, if a user click this generate password button, then the generate password button will call this generate password function. Inside this generate password function, first it will create a cars, then password length, the password variable. These three variable first it created. Next it go to the loop. So in the for loop, it will validate. So first time the I value is 0 and the password length is 4. So it inside that for loop and here the random number will be called 1 and it will substring from the car's value. The first value will be come here 1 because that random number is come 1 and random plus 1 is 2. So it will took this 1. Next the I value is 1 and the password length is 4. So this time also my password is set W. Next for the third time the password set D. For the last time my random number is 14 and here the 14 character will be E. Next time the condition of the for loop is failed, so it went out and set the value in the create password ID and went out from the function. So here you can see the 4-digit password is ready in the input field. Similarly, if I click the copy button, it will go to that copy password method and inside this function, it will take the value from this input field. Next, the select function is called, then the select range function and at the end, it execute that copy command. For reset button work will be similar type this. Once I click this reset button, it will set the value of this input field as empty. Now you know that how you can generate a password. If I increase the length of the password length will be changed. Currently my password length is 4. If I set 10, so it will generate a 10 character of the password. So next I am going to use a image for this card. So for that I have to use a image tag. I set a image, and for this image I am going to declare the CSS. So the CSS will be cardbox image tag, and here I am going to set the details of this CSS for this image. So first I am going to set the margin. So margin will be 0. Next margin left 140 px. Next I am going to set the height and width. So height will be 8 rem and it will be 8 rem. Next I am going to set the border for this. So border will be 0, or I can set none. Next border will be 2px solid. Then RGB will be 208, 206, 214. Next I'm going to define the background color for this. The background color will be aqua, and I have to put a radius for this border. So border radius will be 60 rem. So here you can see password generator template is ready. You can generate a 10 character of password and also copy this password and reset the password. Thank you friends. Hope you enjoy this password generate video, and thank you for like our video and subscribing our channel.